Peace, family. Mm, we live. We live. Mm, peace, peace, peace. As we wait till everybody gets in here, we're going to have a good conversation tonight. We're going to talk about magic mushrooms and everything you need to know. Part one. Mm, appreciate that. Mm, mm. Let's see what we got. Peace, peace. All right. Hey yo, this track is from my playlist too, y'all. If y'all want to get my playlist, is in the it's in the story highlights. I listen to different types of music, and music is a fundamental tool when you tap in on plant medicine. I don't know why many people who are it was trash. House of Dragons was trash. All right. I'm gonna start fast forwarding that whole show because I this is what I feel like House of Dragons is doing before I get into this conversation. I feel like they're trying to frustrate the dragon people. They know we only watching this show to see the dragons. That shit is trash. Their dialogue is garbage. Mm-mm. The 5 seconds of dragons, nah, bro, nah. It's not where it's at. So today we're gonna talk about plant medicine and everything you need to know about plant medicine. Okay, before we get started, this video is sponsored by earthlyelevation.com. With your elevation needs, we are here. The magic mushrooms, the magic supplements. You have to be able to use things which are magic to tap in to your magic. Kumbarix. And anybody, this limitless, it drops on Friday. But if anybody wants this for free, all you gotta do is spend over 100, request limitless in notes at purchase, or send a limitless to my customer service team, and we'll be able to help you out and get you limitless. You can't spend 99 and get it. You gotta spend 100. Stop trying to be slick. $100. Otherwise, my team is not going to send it out, and you're going to be mad at me, But I told y'all, I gave y'all rules. Now tonight, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this tonight. Erexu, this, Quran, Loxoris, this tonight, right? And we're going to be getting into some experiences, some things you need to know, why many of you should take it and why many of you should not take it. Okay? We're going to talk about these things tonight. We got somebody coming in tonight. I want to have a build with too, somebody who has actually tapped in with me. And I want y'all to hear his perspectives as well because he has done as much shrooms as have done because he's been on all of my retreats. Come on in, brother. But until he gets here, um, I want y'all to think about mycelium, which shrooms are connected to. They're connected to a mycelium network in the planet, which is why many shrooms seem to grow in your area out of nowhere. What do you think that is? You think, like I said about the weeds, didn't relate to shrooms as well? The problem is, many of us do not have enough information on mushrooms, and we think everything that pops up out of nowhere is poisonous because we don't have enough information on it, right? But there's a mycelium network in the planet, just like there's a network for the trees and the plants as well that are also scanning our ecologies. What we need, it's just that a lot of information is not out there for us to know about this. We're going to talk about some of the benefits a lot of you may experience from the mycelium network and some of the benefits I have experienced on the mycelium network and how to get the ultimate experience um, with the mycelium network family, because just like we have herbs to help you. We also have mushrooms to help you too, but a lot of people have to get out of the fear they feel about mushrooms because we think it's a white person thing or whatever it may be. No, it's an ascended person thing. It's a person who is trying to ascend. White or black, that is a color thing. We're dealing with the frequency thing. Okay, so if y'all still on the white and black thing, woo, you're missing the ball. You missing out. So what's up? What's up, Light? Introduce yourself to people, man. What's
What's
up, bro?
good?
How you feeling?
What's good? Shit, I'm good, bro. I got to come through with my little slogan. It's the man on the scene, TLB, the light bringer, God's goon, King Light 909. Y'all know I'm here today. We about to get into
All
it.
right. Well, let's talk about some plant medicine tonight because a lot of people may have done plant medicine and they may have, gotten experiences, and some have done plant medicine and, they have bad trips. And we want to get into all this tonight, right? But what plant medicines have you done in the past?
Oh man, I say pretty much all of them.
Well,
I've done.
for those who don't know, what's all of them? Because they don't know. A lot of people don't know.
That's right. I've done mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, bufo, DMT, Cambo, changa, hape. Uh, I've done a little bit of LSD. I've done Sananga eye drops. I've tried ceremonial cacao, amble. I've also done snake venom. So, I've been
Okay.
going through
Okay.
it.
Okay. So you have tapped into all of these and you've gotten experiences. Have you?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. Now, how'd you meet me?
All right. So I met you. Uh, Originally, I had started buying your supplements when I was on the health tip for a while. And then out of the blue, you had just posted a video about ayahuasca. And at the moment, I was looking for ayahuasca. So I'm like, yo, this right here is in alignment. So, I listened to your experience, and it was unlike any experiences that I've heard on YouTube where people's giving their trip reports.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, so let me just see what else he's putting out. And then next thing you know, you dropped a video on mushrooms. And I'm like, mushrooms? I'm like, that seemed like something that only white boys was doing at parties or just like at raves and stuff. So when you was talking about how you used it for your spiritual ascension, I was like, yo, that's right up my alley. So then you had started a WhatsApp group for everybody, like-minded individuals could come together and talk and communicate and build. But I waited a few months before joining because I was like, you know what, let me just see what other kind of information he's putting out there before I jump in there. So then after I got into the group and we all building for a few more months, you start doing the men's retreat.
Mm.
And I had to go to the men's retreat. I've been to all of them.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about those. Like, what plant medicines did we use on the men's retreat? And what year was this?
Okay, so the men's retreat started in 2020. Um, for the men's retreats, we did the Cambo, start off with the Cambo, the frog venom to cleanse our bodies energetically, physically. Then we did the mushroom ceremony. Uh, we took the Sananga eye drops. We did Hape, and we did Iboga. And, a nice select few of us have done Bufo at the retreats and San Pedro as well.
Okay. Okay. Now, I got a question because it sounds like you were on your journey and it sounds like you may have been getting something from the mushrooms. Now, before my retreats, were you doing mushrooms? Like, have you done them before the retreats?
Oh, before the retreats?
Yeah.
Well, after I heard your video on mushrooms, me being in California, I just had to tap into the streets real
Hmm.
quick, found a little mushroom connect, grabbed some. And yeah, I had a couple experiences before the retreat. In my first experience, I started off with 2.5 grams of mushrooms.
How'd that go?
It went extremely, extremely well. It opened my mind to other dimensions of space and consciousness that I didn't even really know that a person could experience.
Mm.
Like, I was an avid meditator at the time. I was practicing internal energy alchemy for over over 5, 6 years. But the
Mm.
experiences that I got on the mushrooms in real time were even more vivid than the experiences that I was getting from doing the actual work on myself. It was like taking the training wheels off and riding a bike for the first time. If if I could compare it to that.
Interesting, interesting. Now, somebody said, Cambo, Aboga, Shrooms, Sananga, Hafe, all in one retreat. Um, we did this all in one retreat?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we spread it out over the course of 3 days, but we got through it. We got into it. We got through it, and we all had a great experience. We
Mm,
all came out as greater versions of ourselves after these retreats.
interesting. So, on your plant medicine experience, it made a difference what kind of experience you got because of the way you was living, like information you were learning. Like, can you give me a little example of what type of information you were learning at the time you did plant medicine?
Okay. Some of the information I was learning before the plant medicine, I've been diving into the Montauk Chia books, dealing with
Mm-hmm.
the microcosmic orbit, elemental fusion of the five elements, cosmic fusion, and different literatures on how to build up the soul and the light body.
Mm,
So I was dealing with a lot of those. I was practicing different meditations, but I say after taking mushrooms and because they teach you about your awareness in these books,
mm,
but being on mushrooms, it allowed me to directly experience my awareness to the point to where off mushrooms I can directly move my awareness throughout my body, throughout the environment, interact with other people's energy bodies, read into their energy, and be able to tell them different things about themselves that they didn't think nobody could just see you
mm.
know so mushrooms, they unlock that.
I got like that. Okay. What was your diet like when you were taking shrooms? Like before you were taking it, leading up to that? Like what was your diet like?
Diet for me at that time in 2020, I say I was a vegan for about 2.5 going on 3 years. But even before that, I was pescatarian, vegetarian for about 10 years.
Mm.
So yeah, I was pretty clean and disciplined.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question because we talk about psilocybin, we talk about having these, these experiences that are taking you to other dimensions. Can you tell me about an experience that you may have experienced or saw that was equivalent to really those high level experiences you only see on YouTube or hear about from other people? What type of experience have you had or been a part of where you saw something like or had something happen to you which was magical? That hey, maybe unlock some abilities. Can you explain like when and where that happened and how it went?
Okay, the first thing that comes to mind when you say that is the second men's retreat when we was at the farm. During that time, and this is something I directly experienced because I was
Mm-hmm.
there. But during that time, I said we all, well, the experienced ones of us that did like about 10 to 15 grams of mushrooms, and then after the waves kicked in and we was able to get, settle down within our energy bodies, within our physical bodies, kind of like ground ourselves out. We all got around the fire pit, right? And I know you remember this. We was all standing around the fire pit, and then it started to die down. And then one of the homeboys was like, "Yo, let me grab some wood and let me just throw that on there so we keep the fire going." And then you was like, "Nah, hold on, I got this." And then you start doing the chants that you were practicing at that time, doing that language, and directly speaking into the fire, doing mudras. And as I'm watching on this high dose of mushrooms, I'm seeing these symbols of light go into the fire from your hands, and then it just reignited the coals, and then the fire just start blazing big, and it even start changing colors a little bit, like green and all that.
Mm,
But you was literally speaking to the fire, and I say that was the one of the biggest things that I've seen jumping into the journey firsthand that you may only see on TV, may only think can happen on like movies like the Avatar and stuff like that.
mm.
That experience was dope.
So from your experience, you've seen magical things on magic mushrooms, like fire bending and these types of things. Um, remember when we were looking at the fire, what did I tell y'all when we were looking in the fire? What did you see inside of it? Because when for y'all that don't know, when you are under on plant medicine, you are experiencing the altered states of consciousness not really being altered, but to the original state of consciousness where you can see things that you normally can't see that are right in front of your face because your brain puts like a buffer system over your eyes so you can only see a part of the holographic projection. But when you take plant medicine that those lens is removing, you're able to see real things that you weren't able to see before. Now, what did you see in the fire?
Well, the the logs that were being burned, they started to take on the form of what looked to be like little people in there, but they were smiling at us.
Mm.
So you was like, yo, that's the ancestors talking to us. And at the same time that they over there talking to us and smiling at us, basically like, yo, I'm glad you guys are here and y'all can see us. It's like the flame of the fire, I could feel it feeding the soul inside of my body at the same time. So it was like a direct connection.
Interesting.
That was amazing. Yeah.
What I'm able to deduce from that is the fact that fire is conscious,
Oh
isn't it
yeah.
now?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Fire is conscious.
Interesting. Now, can you tell me about any other experiences that you may have had where it may have unlocked your abilities or any abilities that you didn't have before you took the plant medicine?
Oh yeah. One of the abilities that I'm working with right now that mushrooms have unlocked, and I say Reggie's my witness, Reggie with the dreads, because he was there with me when I did it. I had took probably about 5 grams one night. He took about the same, and when they kicked in, we feel this presence coming to the room, and you know what I'm saying. It just felt like it was teaching me because I sat up, I put my hands inside of this mudra, basically like this, boom, sitting down with my hands like that, and then all of the energy inside of the room, the energy particles, they start gathering up along the floor. They start gathering up probably about a foot off the ground, and then they came in front of me and they start building up a light bodysuit in front of me. And Reggie, he started bugging out a little bit. He was like, "Yo, what the hell is going on?" I'm like, "Yo, I don't even know, but I could feel it being projected from
Ooh.
me."
Mm. Interesting. Interesting. What do you think that meant?
Well, what I was being shown and what I was being told at the time was that nature has these technologies for us to access if we're able to tap into ourselves. So as
Mm.
you're building up yourself, you're cleansing out your body and you allowing yourself to become a capacitor for these higher forms of energy, you start to be able to use nature's technology instead of these electronic devices.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, so can you give me an example of what people can do to tap into nature's technology?
Definitely, one of the things they could do is make sure that you're grounding and make sure that you're taking care of your shadow work, dealing with your traumas, getting past those, because that'll be the only way that you're able to really access this information. And one of the easiest ways to tap in is to get with some plant medicine.
Mm.
Even if it's a low dose starting off, you got to start somewhere. But in order to access these higher realms of consciousness and be taught by the dimensional beings in those dimensions of space, you got to tap in with these plants.
Mm. Okay. So basically, what you're saying is plants and fungi have the information that many of us been looking for.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And the thing is, it's always here. All this information is always here, always waiting for us to interact with it. But we be so blinded by the day-to-day stuff that we deal with that we don't even take the time out to relax, to be still, to even receive this information from the plants, from the trees, from the elements, the wind, the sun. We be oblivious to it.
Interesting. Interesting. Now, what is the what is the highest dose you've ever taken on psilocybin? Because we're gonna get into dosages now
Oh
for
man.
yeah, because people are wondering like, I want to take this, I want to take that. We gonna get into dosages and where we learn this from because last time I checked, I seen people online saying that 5 grams was the most you could take in the hero dose. So, what is the highest dose you have ever taken on plant medicine? Or
Well,
shroom?
if if 5 grams is the hero dose, then shit, I took the dragon dose. I was up there. The most I took was 35 grams
You
in
took 35 grams?
in one sitting. Yeah, yeah.
Now, they said that, from what I'm hearing off of Joe Rogan and stuff, they're saying that, you know, um, 5 is the hero. So why would you go beyond 5?
Well, I guess because maybe the hero can only go so far. You got to go from the hero to the god. You know what I'm saying? The
Hmm.
hero
Oh, I like.
is dealing with the 3D stuff and helping people in the 3D realm, but the God is dealing with people in their higher aspects and helping them ascend. So maybe it's that. Maybe they can only get to the hero dose.
Oh, that's heavy. Okay. So now can you tell me, you were able to eat that in one sitting. Who told you that this was something that you should be doing these big dosages? What are you looking for when you do these dosages, and who told you how to do these?
Hmm. I say it was Baba Kalindi.
Mm,
Baba Kalindi was the master mushroom man. I know you know about it, but to the people in the chat, he's the one who was teaching people that it's good to go beyond the 5 gram dosage, because the more mushrooms that you take and you're able to integrate within your system, the deeper into these dimensions as pockets, dimensions and pockets of space that you'll be able to travel and interact with. And some information, the information and the laws and stuff that you deal with changes in each dimension. So the dimensional teachers and the lessons that you get in each dimension will be different. But the more you take, the deeper you'll go into these dimensions, the more you'll be able to see and interact with energy. Because at the end of the day, we energy beings having a human experience. But if you're not in line and in tune with your energy, and it's layers to energy, just like it's levels of chakras of
mm.
energy, you got to be able to deal with each one. And the 7 chakra system, I say that's just like the basic template, the beginner's guide to dealing with energy and learning information about energy. And the only way to get past that is high doses.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, somebody, and if anybody wants to ask any questions in the comment section, all you have to do is go to that little circle with the question mark, and you can put your question in there, and we'll see it, and we'll go over that. Now, somebody did ask, how long does a 35-gram trip last?
Mm.
How long did yours last?
Uh, one of the one of the things I can say, I think being that I took them all at one time, it was still only, I say it lasted about 8 to 10 hours.
8 to 10.
8 to 10 hours. Yeah. Same as if I took a low dose. So it's not like you're gonna be out there tripping super hard for no 14, 15 hours. It's not that. And even at these high doses, you may not be tripping super hard. It just depends on the amount of work that you've been doing to yourself, doing with yourself, and how much you know how to ground. Because I've had trips on lower doses that were harder than the trip I had at 35 grams because I had stopped doing the work on myself.
Mm-hmm. Ah, now we're gonna save that one because we're gonna show people in this video today how to get the ultimate experience on plant medicine and how to allow it to unlock your magic. We're gonna talk about unlocking your magic. Now,
Mm.
on these experiences, I remember one time I was with you in Arizona and this was the third retreat, and we were outside in the backyard next to the fire pit, and we looked at the sky when we were under. Now, how does the sky look when we're under comparable to how it looks when you're not under?
For me, when I look at the sky, especially at night when I'm under, it's like you can see a lot more than just darkness up there. You can see a
Mm,
lot more than just darkness. And the stars, they look like it's different things up there peering down on you and giving you information through the starlight. It's actually something. It's actually pretty cool.
mm, mm. Yeah, because I remember when we were out there and we were both getting telepathic communication from the beings that were around us. And one of them was talking about something, and then we would know the answer, or vice versa. So, would you say that was the first time you experienced telepathy? Because is that possible in plant medicine?
Telepathy is definitely possible in plant medicine.
Mm,
Um, I think as far as in a group setting, I would say that would be the first time I experienced telepathy on plant medicine. But like even doing plant medicine with my lady, I've experienced telepathy like that as well,
mm,
where it's just maybe 2 people and in groups of like maybe 4. It's easy to pick up on the thoughts of other people
yes.
and communicate with them while you're under plant medicine, because you're so in tune with vibration, with energy, and you so tapped into your senses that you're able to even read body language much better.
Mm, mm. Interesting. Now, I remember that experience in Arizona. I think I did 25 grams, but I believe you did like 20 grams. What did you see out there in Arizona? Because that's a special place. Because there is a for people who want to know why I'm asking these questions is because at certain points on the grid when you do plant medicine is different than if you just did it at home sometimes. And sometimes many of you are drawn to different areas. Maybe tap in, these may be the reasons you had to be there to receive a certain activation, which is what a lot of us do when we're not under, which is grid work. Now, what type of things did you experience doing plant medicine in Sedona?
I say Sedona is where I've had the majority of my activations,
Mm,
like real deal activations, where I'm actually inside of other dimensions and they're teaching me how to interact and do different things in this realm. I say I had those type of experiences the most in Arizona.
mm,
Like I remember on the 35 grams that I did before I got interrupted, they had took me to a time and space within myself to where it was nothing but desert. It was nothing in sight, just straight dirt. And they're showing me how people built the pyramids with sound, speaking chants and talking to the wind and calling up the sand and building this big pillar of sand and smashing it down and creating these giant statues and stuff. They were showing me that that's how they were doing that. And then they start showing me how to create things out of thin air. But as I'm practicing and doing this, I got interrupted by another brother. He came out like, "Hey, yo, light." And the frequency that I was in, it was going like that because my focus got interrupted.
okay. Now, a lot of people are wondering first where they get shrooms from. We'll get into some of that later, but how to have the ultimate experience. Because from me, tapping in a group setting, we were still able to have very good experiences, even if we were around people. Now, it's very important, family, that the people that you're around are on the frequency or in the space that you're in, because if they're not, this can be a problem and they can throw you off in your whole experience and turn a good experience that was supposed to be between you and you into something else entirely. So it's very important to make sure your space is clean before you tap in. What do you think of, like, what is your thoughts about that space and people and that type of stuff when people are tapping in?
Oh, you definitely got to be cognizant about the space that you're in and the people that you're keeping around you during the trip, because one thing that can happen is a person's energy that they're dealing and the stuff that they're dealing with within themselves that they have not been working on, that stuff can come out of them and
Mm,
try to latch on to you. And if they're under, one thing that plant medicine does is it makes you face yourself.
mm.
So while they're dealing with this energy in real time, if they haven't been working on themselves, then they allow themselves to become basically a portal for something to walk in and take over. And
Ooh.
then that you will have to start to deal with that aspect of them.
Have you ever seen that before in our experience?
Oh yeah, I definitely seen that. I definitely
Mm,
seen that. And not to drop any names, but at that third retreat we were talking about, um, I remember we were all under and sitting around another fire pit,
yeah.
and you being you and have already connected with fire and already speaking to the fire, interacting with the fire, getting it to do what you want. You got a certain relationship with the fire to where you got your whole leg in the fire. And the brother who was going through what he was going through and basically became a walk-in, he's not even himself at the moment, and he's trying to do the same thing you doing, and he ended up getting burned real bad. Whereas you didn't receive no type of injuries or anything with your whole leg in the
I
fire. You know
didn't
what I'm saying?
fire. Didn't realize that. I didn't realize that. Um, yeah, okay. So it's interesting because so you're saying that if people have not worked on themselves to a degree, that means that just like in our actual life when we're not under, there are things that can walk in you through your trauma and things you haven't dealt with. It's amplified when you're on plant medicine. This is what you're
Oh,
saying.
oh yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely amplified because the same way a person can drink alcohol and allow something to walk into them and they be like, I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. I apologize. I just snapped. I don't remember anything. It's the same way that it happens on mushrooms, but the only difference is with alcohol is normally like an angry spirit. On
Mm,
mushrooms, you don't know what the hell is gonna come through these people.
that's true. That's I've seen some things, you've seen some things, you know, and on that experience, it was interesting because that was the first experience where I was activated with the dragon language. Can you tell me about that? Because you were there the first day that I ever spoke dragon language. What happened that day with that? What'd you see?
Well, what I saw and what I heard, from what I heard from the previous languages you were speaking and teaching us as you were going through the vowel system, I had noticed that this language was totally different. But as we're sitting there around the fire, I'm sitting with my back against, well, back to the house. So I'm looking at the perimeter and the trees around the gate and everything. And as you're speaking the language, the hanging branches on the trees, they all started to morph into giant dragon heads around the perimeter of the yard. So, and I remember pointing it out to you. You was like, "Oh, really?" Like you didn't even know because your back was to the
Yeah,
perimeter.
what,
So that's
what,
what I was seeing. I was seeing dragons actually manifest themselves from you speaking the language.
interesting. And that's what for those who may ask about the dragon language and wonder why it's doing what it does. What it also does is exercise any demonic force that is inside of your body. So if you're under plant medicine with me under with the dragon, if you do have any forces inside of you, that's going to be running from that shit. Because dragons and demons or entities, they don't really like they don't fuck with dragons. So when they hear the dragon language, they want to skedaddle and run from you.
Well,
Now, go
oh,
ahead.
let me ask you something right
Go
quick.
ahead.
So when you start getting into plant medicine and everything, and you start having these experiences, were you looking for the dragon, looking for dragon information, looking for dragon energy, or was that something that just came to you?
No, I wasn't looking for anything dragon. I always liked dragons, but I didn't think nothing of it. I wasn't looking for Egypt. I didn't think nothing of it. I was attacking life at the time, as I still am. I was dealing with a lot of adversity at the time, but I was still doing my job. I was still helping people. I was still in the heart space. Didn't realize what it meant. It just felt right to be righteous, even if I was misunderstood. And I just kept on trying to help, y'all and this is my mission. So I wasn't really looking for dragons or trying to chase abilities. I was just trying to find myself. And that's what came out when I was looking for myself. But I was not looking for anything that I am at this particular point. It just came to me because it was me.
Got you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So when you tap in on the plant medicine, let's talk about the experiences and how to have really good experience. I want you to explain something about the power of intention before you tap in on plant medicine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Intention.
yeah.
Intention. Okay. I'm gonna start off with the download I got on intention when I was under one day thinking about intention. Well, intention is definitely something that you want to have when you're doing plant medicine because it's basically anchoring in with inside of your energy body, within inside of your psyche, because the plant medicine is going to directly affect both of them. It's anchoring into yourself and inside of your energy body for the plant medicine to be dealt with a specific purpose in mind.
Okay.
So you may be wanting to heal something, traumas that you've been dealing with, uh, just dealing with stuff that you may not even know that you even experience. You might want to just dive into your subconscious and just clean those things out so that you can move forward in your life. So instead of just taking the mushrooms and experiencing whatever, you want to set that intention to have an experience directly revolving around that. So
Ah,
it's like taking a thought and then creating tension with your mental energy and anchoring it within yourself so that when you take the mushrooms and that other energy kicks in with your body and it hits that intention that you placed in your psyche, it activates on that. Like if it was basically like if it was a seed and you just put it in and then now you're watering it with the plant medicine, it's just boom and it'll cascade into whatever your intention was.
And I like that breakdown. I like that breakdown. That makes a lot of sense. You know, you explain that very well. So yeah, so basically you're basically giving your experience rocket fuel. This is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, because you want to take off in the right direction.
Correct.
You don't want to be taking off and not knowing where you're going, and you experience a crash landing and having to deal with some shadows that you wasn't even ready to face.
Mm,
You want to be able to walk yourself through an experience. Like you're not going to be able to directly control the experience on mushrooms because they're going to give you what you need to get, but you want to be able to walk into it and not stumble upon it. Because
mm,
you stumble if you ain't got the proper balance and grounding, you might mess yourself up. You know,
that's true.
so you
That's true.
yeah,
And we're going, hey, family. And if y'all, like I said, once again, if y'all have any questions, you can just put it right in the circle with a question mark. I'm going to answer some right now. Me and Light are going to answer some questions. Now I'm going to look through. Okay, since we're on the dosage conversation, somebody asked, what is the difference in intensity between a low dose and a heroic dose and a more than 5 gram experience? Now I'll give mine on this one, and then you can give yours. Okay.
for sure.
There are several different types of dosages you can take. The first one normal people take to integrate it with their blood, with their bloodstream, is the microdose. Microdose is anywhere between zero point 0.3 to zero point 0.5 grams of psilocybin. And when you do a microdose once every 3 days. You cannot take it every day. All right. So microdose is just, and you're going to feel the difference, but it's going to be a very subtle difference that changes your consciousness. It's working on your psyche, and you don't even realize it's working on your psyche. Then you have we have the macro experiences, which is anything above 1.5 grams or 2 grams, and that's going to give you a full-blown experience, sometimes lasting between 4 to 8 hours, depending on what type of plant medicine that you take. It's going to give you things what they call ego deaths. You don't kill your ego. You put it to sleep for a little while, and you become the higher self that rules over the ego. So it's no ego death. It's just that you putting it aside. And then past 5 grams is where, to me, all the real experiences are, where your reality breaks away. Um, you are in a space that you're from. It just feels foreign to you, and you're getting to know yourself at the highest levels all over again, being fed information amplified comparable to whatever you've been learning now. So if you're reading books that's open up your neural pathways, it's going to give you the bang. It's going to take you to another space of time depending on what your intention is. But those higher dosages are, to me, the dosages that change everything. If you want to change everything, take the higher doses, and it's a lot of surrender involved, because when you take those dosages, you're going to come to points with waves of when it feels like you're going to die many times and many times over, but you have to learn how to breathe. So the high doses, to me, are the better ones. I don't do any. I haven't done a micro dose in a very long time. Me personally, I like the high dosages because I like to receive the information on shrooms. It's like you're going into the master room and you're learning from the teacher. What you find out later on is yourself. Okay, so go ahead, Light. What is you remember the question? I know I talked for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. The difference between the low dose and the high dose.
Okay,
Uh,
okay. Yeah, go ahead.
from my direct experience, the low doses, they're definitely a dose and they definitely tap you in. But I say between 1 and 3 grams, it's more of a it's more of a body feeling. It's gonna center you within your body and allow you to get comfortable with your energy. And if you're around other people, you'll be like able to read into their energy and possibly interact with
Mm,
it. But anything beyond the 3 and the 5, that's when you really start to get into these spaces where your crown chakra is open.
mm,
You're able to receive different downloads on things that you think about in the moment or things that you've been studying. You'll start to get deeper insights on that. And everything beyond 10 grams and up, it's gonna bring out some shadows if you got to work with them. But
mm,
after that, it's a direct learning experience. You're going into different realms of space. I mean, even with your eyes open, of course, you see everything as it is, And at higher doses, it may not look as it looks now, but you see things as it is.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's like a very subtle overlay of wherever your consciousness is at the moment. So you may be inside of your bedroom, but your consciousness might be inside of your palace, inside of another country like Egypt or anywhere that these aspects of you are from. It'll basically be like a subtle overlay of that. And as you're going through your house or wherever you at and you're interacting with things, you start to get your memories back. Like, oh, okay, so I had a palace. I was this king. It starts building up your confidence because you start to remember who you were.
Mhm.
And I mean, if I say after you've experienced those high doses, when you start to take the lower doses, since you've been to those realms, you're able to tap into them, but not to the same extent as you would if you were on a higher dose. So it's like you could revisit them. Like, when you got a memory card in a video game and you save file, you'll go there, but you might not have all of the all of the abilities and trinkets that you would if you had took the higher dose.
Ah, okay, I see. I see. So basically, what I'm hearing is higher doses is where it's at if you're ready to really change your life.
If you're ready to really change your life and remember who you are, yes.
Mm. Now, I do see all questions, so don't forget I'm going to be
What
answering.
up?
Um, Matter of fact, how about this? How about we just ask another one because I don't want to get off the subject too much. But somebody said, "How do you explain schizophrenia?"
Ooh.
I can answer this one.
Yeah, you could tackle
Uh,
that one.
Well, the name was given to people that really had schizophrenia, but the name was really given to people who are going to have different thoughts and realities that people are not seeing at this time. There were certain names and language given to us to be used at times when society would seem that they're acting crazy. So they would put names behind these things to identify you as something so you could not feel like you want to express yourself in this way. Use losing your reality, acting crazy. All these things would be appear that we're saying appears to be crazy to some people. So what people do is give you words. You're crazy. You have schizophrenia to discourage you from actually exploring your illogical mind, your real mind, and where you really come from. So you could not manifest the reality that we're all about to manifest right now. Schizophrenia is something that they use all the time, just like conspiracy theorists, to disarm you, to make you feel like, well, basically, it's a good test to see how confident you are in what it is you say, how you're moving. Because when your higher self shows you what you are, people are going to think you have schizophrenia because their realities is where it's at and they only know what they know. But our realities have experienced something beyond this matrix that we gain access to, which is also inside of ourselves as well, that many people do not access. But when you begin to tap into plant medicine, plants, eat better, you begin to tap into a space of yourself that 99.99% of people have not tapped into. So the majority is going to think you're crazy because they all think one way inside of a box of the logic mind. Anything outside the box, you're schizophrenic. Nah, nah.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'll be schizophrenic if that's the word for me. Because I like this shit. I like to bend fire. I like to speak my languages. I like to know who I am. And if all that is schizophrenia, go ahead and give me schizophrenia. My name isn't Mr. Intensity no more, Coach Reg. It's schizophrenia. That's me. Because that's the reality I want to live in. I want to live in that reality because it seems to be a lot more fun than going to work every day. I don't know about you. Okay. I don't want to do that anymore. Okay. So if we're moving to a reality where we don't do that no more, we have to lean a little bit into crazy to manifest the reality. The problem is they only wanted us to manifest our reality to make money, which keeps us in the same type of reality at different levels, different types of imprisonment. Do you see? So we have another question. Okay. Let me see. I'm not sure if you I'm not sure if you've done this one, but okay. This is a good question. What's your favorite way to take shrooms in high 10-gram doses, eating them raw or tea form? Or question mark. You go ahead for
Or, well, I won't say that it's my favorite way,
this.
because to me, whether it's a tea or whether you eat them, it's going. I don't really, I'm not a big fan of the taste, but I, for the higher doses for myself, I just take them straight. I just munch on them, chew them down, because I feel like if I'm going to go into this high dose experience, I'm about to experience
Mm,
everything, including the nasty taste. I'm
yes,
about to eat all of it.
yes, yes. I'll answer it too. I don't like taking it in tea form because it hits my bloodstream too fast and it bypasses my digestive system. Now, shrooms, like they told me, they don't like to be mixed with chocolate. They don't like to be mixed with candy. They don't want that. When you eat things, you need to eat them in its pure form for certain food because properly assimilated into your body is best. If you are grinding it up to make it comfortable for you, you're actually failing the initiation. Part of the initiation of shrooms is eating them as they are and dealing with whatever they taste like because that's part of what you're about to get. And by surrendering to the taste, you're showing respect to the fungi. And
Mm.
in turn, this fungi will show respect to you, saying, yeah, you endured me. Now I'm about to give you some gold about yourself because you just dealt with that taste, which is only going to last about 10 to 15 minutes anyway, comparable to an 8-hour experience of heaven. So, tea, chocolate, I don't fuck with it because shrooms tells me that it doesn't fuck with it. So why would I take the plant medicine in a way where it told me not to take it? Because I'm trying to get comfortable. That's me trying to make things comfortable for myself, and I'm not going to get the full experience. You could be missing, yo. I'm telling y'all, some of y'all gifts could be coming online just by this one experience, but because you didn't listen to shrooms and take it how it was supposed to be taken, you might have missed the gift, and you gotta wait till the next time. Okay, so somebody asked, "Do you say no to chocolate?" Well, you're supposed to say no to chocolate anyway because it's dairy. You're mixing poison with fungi; it doesn't work. You're gonna have to take it as is. For some of y'all, y'all can do what y'all want. I'm just telling you what it told me. Don't get mad at me. That's all I'm saying. Anything on that? Like,
Mm. I think you pretty much covered all bases, but yeah, I'll add. It's. I feel like it is best to take the plant in the form that it is there to be consumed. Like mushrooms, you could take those raw, but something like ayahuasca, you gotta get the plant compounds and mix them. But that's the way that it was intended to be taken. So, like you were saying, it's about respecting the plant, and in a form when you're chewing that nasty ass mushroom and you're enduring it, you're showing reverence for the plant. You could be telling the plant how grateful you are to have this experience that you're about to experience. And at the same time as you're having this reverence for this plant, you're having a reverence for yourself because all it's going to do is take you into a journey within, anyways. So it's setting yourself up for a good experience.
interesting. I hope that answers y'all question. I'm going to ask some of these other questions you guys have. I see a lot, y'all asking a lot of questions, which are great. Oh, okay. Is it good to do every day for a week? You can go ahead with that one, and I'll go after you.
I personally would not. Well, it depends. If you're talking about microdosing, yeah, you can microdose every day for a week. That's fine. But I personally wouldn't take anything that's going to send me on a trip every day for a week because I mean, just being realistic, we all got lives, we all got things we got to do. Some of us go to work, some of us got to take care of our family, you know, and the trip automatically is going to be an 8-hour trip. So having 8 hours a day to be under dealing with high intensity information, dealing with these different dimensions of time and space for 8 hours a day every day. If you don't take out the time to integrate what you've learned on the previous trip and to ground yourself out, the next trip that you go into may be something that you may not be able to handle. And if you are able to handle it, it may start to bleed into your regular three-dimensional reality in a way that is not good for you because you may start to become delusional just from being under too much. And that's just being realistic. Too much too often.
Too much too often. You know what I've noticed in this community of taking plant medicine that there are two different types of people who take plant medicine. The first type of person is the one who wants to escape. The second time is the one who wants to learn and get better. and heal. I want y'all to understand, if you're trying to take plant medicine and escape, it's going to whoop your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's done it to me. I'm not sure if it's done it to you before, but it's done it to me because I was going in too much because I was just enjoying it in the beginning. And it showed me what time it was. And I respected it after that and never did it too much again. You have to understand, family, that shrooms is actually here to teach you so you can get better, become a better being, human. You see? And if you're taking it to run from your problems, what's going to happen is your problems are going to accumulate over a span of time. And they're not going to get better, because if shrooms is giving you advice and you're not listening to the shrooms, guaranteed your life is going to go downhill, because the shrooms are tapping you into aspects of yourself that are existing in higher timelines simultaneously, but also tapping you into your guides that are also trying to help you. The thing about taking shrooms is that when you take them, you're able to talk to them a lot more clearer, because you don't have the presence of the logic mind and the ego, which normally would second guess the fact that they're speaking to you at all. You see, because there's another thought. So when you take plant medicine, you should take it, and then you should learn the lesson it's trying to tell you, or do what it's asking you to do, before you go back in to the best of your ability. Because all shrooms are going to do is amplify the way you're living in your life. So if you want to have a great experience on this stuff, be living courageously, authentically, so it can be able to show you who you really are based off of what you're doing. You're not going to get this reading just a book. The best true experiences are acquired when you respect the medicine and you respect yourself, because it does what you do to yourself. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's all
Mm,
valid. It's definitely all valid because I believe personally that the whole human experience is to merge with our higher self,
mm,
and everything else around us is a distraction.
mm,
You know, I mean, we all have to live here and grow. That's all a part of the initiation from energy body into a human body in order to grow into our higher aspects, to learn what we came to learn here. And with the plant medicine, constantly showing you your shadows and stuff to help you get through them if you're willing to put in the work. You don't want to keep disrespecting the plant medicine by not doing what you were told. It's almost like, because the mushroom, I believe it's a masculine energy, right? It's a masculine spirit, right?
mm.
So it's
Yes.
basically like going to your father, but it's yourself. And he's like, oh, I just showed you what to work on. You ain't gonna work on it? Okay, well let me put this shit on you right here. You know, that's how you that's how you get them bad trips where people start seeing demons. No, you start seeing yourself in
Yeah.
different ways and forms. Like you start to
Yes.
see what is really inside you that you got to work on. Like
Mm,
demons, they transform into angels and light on the other end of the
mm,
spectrum.
mm,
It's all one and the same, but it's like, where are you at in there, and what kind of work are you putting in to reach the other side, or are you okay with being darkness, that
mm,
darkness that ain't getting you where you want to go because you can't see nothing in the dark, right?
mm.
It's all kind of light there, but you can't perceive it. So you got to be that light in the dark, and the mushrooms show you that. It taps you into that divine spark.
Wow. That's very important. So y'all should listen to that. It's very important to make sure, before you tap into something like this, you're tapping into something like you, because you are a walking mushroom. You see, you have a mycelium network inside of you as well. And when you take a shroom, shrooms are also taking you too. So when you tap into a shroom and it's tapping into you, it wants to see something is happening there, so it can be able to give you more of this magic. If you're not giving yourself the magic, how can it amplify what you're doing? It only amplify what you're not doing by giving you a melting door or a moving ceiling. You show nobody, you know what I mean? Because
Oh yeah.
what you think you have, like, you hear these experiences and you're like, wow, I'm about to take it, hype, gonna bend some fire, right? And then you get out there and nothing happens. You're like, that was a dud. I took some trash. No, You were moving like trash, and it amplified you. You're not there yet, and you have to be okay with wherever you are first, so you can get what you have coming to you. All the information you know is what you need to know right now. It's up to you to see if you want to know more about how you live in your life. How are you living? What are you doing? Are you attacking your fears? Huh? Are you asking yourself the questions that are difficult? Are you doing the shadow work? Are you in the heart space? Hmm? Are you there? Now, so those bad trips come from bad breathing techniques. No, no. Now you could stay in a spot too long if you don't learn how to breathe, but that's not where bad trip comes from. It comes from how your experience is and what you're able to see in your experience. Let's say if you're a person who lacks accountability, and then your higher self is telling you that you did this, that you did that, that you caused your breakup, that you were one of the reasons you got fired from your job. You might call it a bad experience because you got checked when you're not being accountable in your regular life, and it just showed you what you already knew. So now you can't be in denial because it's coming from you, and because you're not ready to see it, you call it the bad trip. Nah, that's not how it works. Now, somebody did ask, are shrooms low vibrational like marijuana, or is marijuana low vibrational?
Hmm. Are shrooms low vibrational like marijuana? It's a whole different experience than marijuana. Like they can be used together synergistically, like they help to enhance each other if you take them together. But that I would say don't even do that until you've done them both individually and are comfortable with the experience anyways. But I don't even think marijuana is low vibrational. I think it's the person and where they are consciously when they take it that determines the way that it, interacts with their life. And
Mm.
most people when they take marijuana, it's like you said earlier, it's to escape. They're trying to get away from their problems. They're not taking it from a space where they're like, okay, I'm gonna use this. This is intention. I'm gonna use this as a tool to help me work through what I gotta work through on this business, or to help me study a little better, or so that I can get into a deeper state of meditation. They ain't taking the marijuana to do that. They smoking the weed so they could just chill and talk shit, or smoke it, play video games, or you know what I'm saying? Like most people who smoke weed, they ain't thinking about expanding their consciousness. So I
Mm.
think it becomes low vibrational with the person that takes it. But I will say this, marijuana does lock you into a specific frequency. Like when you take the marijuana, it puts you on a specific frequency. They say they call it 420 because not because it was legalized on 420, but because that's the frequency that it puts you in, which is still a heart space frequency. If you're able to tap in and see it for what it is, it does tap you into your heart space. And mushrooms, I don't think I could ever say it's low vibrational because what it does is it raises your vibration. Like I could say this. It was one time I took mushrooms because I was not feeling good. I started feeling like I was probably going to get sick. I had runny nose, cough. I started having a headache and stuff. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just take some shrooms and see how this do. The vibration from the shrooms upped the vibration of my body, and it kicked that shit right out of me. Like after I had took those shrooms, I was not feeling no headache. I was not having no runny nose. I wasn't about to be on the verge of having a sore throat and coughing or anything because it stabilized the energy and the vibration of my body. It harmonized it.
Ah,
Now, I can't say that marijuana will do that either. So that's what I'm saying. They're two different plants for two different things, but they
ah,
both can help you tap in.
that makes a lot of sense. I like the way you broke that down. Yeah, it's happened to me when I was feeling sick and I smoked some marijuana and it kicked that shit right up out of me. I don't believe that marijuana is low vibrational at all. I believe marijuana is very high vibrational based off of the experiences that I've had throughout my entire life when I went through my phases for smoking and not smoking marijuana. Marijuana is the reason why I stopped smoking it like maybe 10 years ago when I wasn't doing as good and marijuana was making me feel depressed every time I smoked it because it was like, yo, I'm giving you instructions, but you can't see. So I'm going to give you this depression. So get off of me until you're right. Um, Marijuana always enhanced me though. Like it always made me want to work out or do something, movement. And I never like to sit down and do bullshit. I like to do active things when I was on it. So for me, for a lot of us, marijuana is very high vibrational because we are productive on it. If you're not productive on marijuana, then you probably should stop smoking it because it's dulling you out and it is low vibrational. Also, the marijuana that many people get is also GMO and tainted. So that's very important to have the right type of marijuana, and because you don't know where it comes from. Sometimes a situation where a plant is grown under stress and it can be low vibrational because of how it was grown, just like animals. So you have to be when you get it from whoever you're getting it from, they're growing it in a good environment for its vibration as well. That's another thing marijuana wanted me to tell you because I can talk to plants now. So yeah, I didn't know that before just now. So yeah, marijuana is high vibrational. It's always been high ever since I woke up and tapped into my divine self, my divine masculine, my divine feminine, being balanced with that. And I take marijuana. Marijuana taps my mind in such a level that I'm like, yeah, we smoked this back then. We did smoke this back then. When we were in our ancient ways, we definitely did. We had a lot of fun and we tapped in with these plants and it gave us high level experiences. The problem is these plants have been used and abused to the point where by the time our DNA would change, where the plants really begin to affect us in a positive way, the plant medicine has a bad rap because of how it was used when we were asleep. So now when somebody says marijuana, oh, that's bad. That's because of how it was abused. Marijuana was on every medicine shelf before like 1910. It was like right there, cannabis. So they took it away because they knew that one day we were going to wake up and it was going to help you wake up. And marijuana is a large part of a lot of activations that I have had happen to me over the past year. Directly correlated with activations and unlocking memories because marijuana is enhancing what I'm doing in my own life, which is attacking the dog shit out of life with no fear. No matter what happens, I don't care if I win, I don't care if I lose. And marijuana is amplifying all of that. So if you smoke marijuana, be living authentically on the search, finding yourself, trying to acquire as much knowledge of self as possible. Because when you do that and your DNA is already beginning to unlock and you're mutating, the marijuana is going to do something different to your body because you no longer process marijuana the same way you used to when you were asleep. There's sleepy high and there's awake high. And it's a whole different ball game. You smoke enough marijuana or you do enough edibles, you're having a full-blown shroom experience. I've noticed that.
I've noticed that too.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm like, wait a second. I used to have to smoke a whole blunt. Now that's going to take 2 pulls from the pipe and I'm good for like 10 hours. What's that about? What happened? What has it done for you comparable to like 10 years ago?
Now, like I haven't been smoking anything recently because of the nature of my profession.
Mm.
But man, one thing that it definitely does after taking mushrooms is it taps my awareness so deep into my body that it makes it a little
Mm.
uncomfortable because
Mm.
I'm like, dang, I can feel my organs now. Like I don't know if you experience that when you're on marijuana, like dang, I can feel my organs. I kind of don't want to be dealing with y'all right now. But it's like you're able to feel well, I'm able to feel so much more within myself on the marijuana than I was back when I used to smoke it when I was younger before I start taking shrooms. But
Mm.
I thought I was tripping when I had smoked marijuana after doing shrooms,
Mm.
and I was like, yo, it feels like a very light shroom experience. I thought I was tripping at first, like, yo, is this for real? Why do I feel like I took a few grams of shrooms right now?
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what it does. That's what it does when you are mutating. And many of us are beginning to mutate and tap into who we really are and what we really are. And marijuana is high vibrational if you are high vibrational. Simple as that. Let's get in some more questions we got. I don't even, Alexis, you got to word that better. That was wild. How do you know if marijuana is synthetic? What happened? Oh shoot. Oh man, he must have his phone must have died. We can keep going though until he comes back. How do you know marijuana is synthetic? You know what? I believe that you know marijuana is synthetic. You know how when you eat GMO food, well, what happens when you eat GMO food? Your stomach hurts, you feel it, you feel the frequency. I believe that if you smoke synthetic marijuana, you will get one of the meanest headaches ever. Okay, I believe that's what happens when you smoke synthetic marijuana. You'll get a mean headache, and you can feel it, and I believe you can taste it. See, I don't smoke synthetic marijuana, so I'm just imagining that this is what happens to you because when I was younger, I probably did smoke synthetic marijuana, and every time I smoked marijuana that wasn't quite right, I would get a very sharp headache, and it wouldn't feel right and it wouldn't taste right. I could taste something inside of it, but not anymore because I don't do that. So, what do you think? Are some signs to know if you smoke synthetic marijuana? Like,
Um, I think one of the main ones would probably be the brain fog. Brain
oh,
fog. Like, cause like, you know, some strains you may get and you smoke them, you're able to function, think properly, whether it's sativa or indica. It don't feel like it's like a haziness there. But then some strains you may take, from my experience was, just the brain fog. Like, dang, like I'm feeling this stuff, I'm feeling good, but like while I'm trying to think about stuff, it's just a little jumbled up, a little jumbled. Like I feel like it'd be the brain fog really for myself because
that
I
makes
never
a lot of
used to experience that. Like when me and my father used to grow marijuana, never got brain fog. But we also sourced our seeds from overseas too, or grew seeds that they consider stress. And then when you sex the plant properly and you just grow a feminine plant, you're gonna get the high quality stuff regardless. But I never got brain fog for those, but I noticed I say within the last 2 years, the times that I have smoked and I got something from the dispensary or something like that, brain fog. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this. I
wow.
can't
Oh,
even tap in with this.
that dispensary, man. Y'all better watch out for them spots, man. I'm telling y'all right now. When they came out with marijuana, when they started legalizing marijuana, I was like, oh, they figured out how to poison it, and they figured out how to get rich off of it. That's the two things I thought about when they legalized this. It's a dispensary in like every corner now, everywhere. They
Hmm.
was locking everybody up for 10 years ago, and then they try and give it to y'all. Y'all don't see that? Y'all don't see that? Watch out when they do it for shrooms too,
Oh, they
because that's
starting in
they
Canada.
doing it in Canada.
They already got a whole facility out there where they're practicing growing them. And if they don't come out to their laboratory standards, they sterilize all of the shrooms and the compost the substrate they grew it in, and then they just dump it. But they sterilize it so it won't grow in nature and try to rebalance itself back out. Yeah, they
Wow,
got a whole facility out there in Canada.
wow, wow. Okay? So I'm gonna get okay because we wasn't gonna be on here all night, and it's a lot of other questions that you were asking, like where can I purchase? Y'all should DM me if y'all want to know. Is it stronger than urine? That's a question because I don't really is it's stronger than urine. It's like a whole different thing. Urine doesn't give you psychedelic experience, but like it doesn't give you a psychedelic experience. Like it heals everything. But if you do urine and mushroom at the same time, that's a whole different ball game. We can get into that later. But we are coming up on our hour. Um, we're gonna have more talks like this. Matter of fact, if y'all like these type of talks, if y'all want King Light to come back, I want y'all to put a one below. Put a one below if y'all want Light to come back. We're gonna do part two, but I want to know if y'all want him to come back and vibe because this is how we do it behind the scenes. But let me know if y'all want him to come back.
Oh shoot, if I'm coming back, we getting lit.
Ah,
We about to get lit. Everybody Kundalini's about to get lit.
mm-hmm.
Oh dang, y'all actually putting the ones in the chat. Okay, I see y'all really mess with me for sure.
Paid up in here, man. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Look at all these ones. Get all these ones. All right, so what
Salute.
do we know is we're going to answer one more question before we go, and I'm going to ask it. Okay, this is good. Let me see. What was one other question somebody asked? How do you feel about fungal? Okay, what about that one? What are some tips on things to do while on a shroom trip to enhance the experience? Oh, I
Ooh.
love to get this. You go
They
ahead.
said to enhance the shroom experience.
Oh man, we got some stuff. This is gonna be a good last question.
Mm. I'll let you tackle it first.
Okay,
'Cause
say
I
less.
gotta think over some of the experiences I had real quick to see what I
Say
did.
less. Okay, so the first thing I can think about that gave me the best experience was music. I gave everybody my playlist, and if you haven't gotten my playlist, you go into the story highlights and you can download my playlist, which is on YouTube. It's not me, I didn't make it. It's just that this is music I listen to, and if you put this type of music together when you're under a shroom experience, you will not only enhance it, the vibrations of the music will take you on a ride for every song. And in these songs, you will heal from the sound frequency of the music because this music is playing on the right hertz frequency, which will be amplified when you are under on plant medicine. Music is a language, it's sacred geometry with sound, influencing the water in your body and the energy in your body. So if you want to enhance a plant medicine experience, listen to some music like the music that's in my playlist. That's one right there off the top.
Yeah, I would say that's probably number one right there because the
Mm-hmm.
experience on music is totally different than experience sober on music. Like you could feel the music through your whole body. You could feel what the music is trying to convey to you underneath the words, if it has words, and also the emotion, everything with inside the instruments.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I noticed on listening to music too is like the music when it comes together with all the instruments and stuff and the way that it does, it has its own spiritual energy behind it, and you could feel that too. And if I'm gonna give a second one to enhance your experience, make sure you got tools, things that you like, whether it's different type of gemstones or I don't know, maybe you might have a plushie or a toy that you're fond of, have that there, or be out in nature. But if you're just inside of a room with a bunch of stuff that you really don't care for, and you start to pay too much attention to it, because everything will take your consciousness to a different space while you're on shrooms. So just make sure that you got your environment set up properly to where it's nothing in there that may trigger you or stuff like that, unless you're specifically looking to deal with triggers and healing that kind of stuff. But
Mm.
definitely nature. Be out in nature if you can be out in nature. Totally different experience than being indoors.
Mm. Yes, nature will most certainly enhance your experience because you'll realize that you're in the crib. Like your house is
Hmm.
containment and the real home is outside. So when you tap in to outside, you are seeing like, do those trees have faces? So
Hmm.
they've been always watching me. Yeah, they've been waiting for you to tap in outside. So outside will most certainly enhance your experience. I got another one. Get a mandala.
Mm.
You got a man.
Mandala.
I'll look it up. Mandala. With a mandala, this is what Kalindi taught us, right? With a mandala, you're like the y'all remember in Aladdin they were talking about magic carpet, the magic carpet's taking you on a ride. Well, the magic carpet thing about Aladdin was about the mandala. In our ancient days, we would keep certain mandalas where our ancestors would live inside of these mandalas. And when we're under altered station of consciousness, when you look at the mandalas, they will change. and they would become a holographic construct which you could travel and go into in your consciousness. And in these mandalas, your ancestors would be in there, and you could literally learn from them by with the mandala that you keep in your house. And what would happen was our families would pass the mandalas down generations, and when they passed, they would go into the quantum world inside the mandalas. And this is how one of the ways we learn from our ancestors, going into the mandalas when we were in altered states of consciousness. So if you want to enhance your experience, go to Etsy and go get you one of those handcrafted mandalas. And tell me I'm lying when you look at it when you go on there. You're like, oh, fuck, why is this thing moving? Well, I thought I'm getting pulled in, because you're about to go see another world, family, depending on how high you go.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Like, I know we gotta get off of here, but speaking on that little topic on enhancing it, and yeah, the mandala definitely be something good to have inside of the house because, like somebody said in the chat, yes, the house is a storage for egoic attachments. Different objects will start to pull different stuff out of you, and like with the mandala, how it could take you on a journey. If you don't have different things that your conscious could latch on to try to expand itself on, it'll start to feel like it's contained inside of this space, and it may try to send you on a time loop on doing some regular stuff. So if you can't get out in nature and you can't get a mandala, you make sure you got some other stuff going on too, or have your intention set specifically for what you need to do.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Also, darkness. If y'all just went in the dark room and didn't see nothing, you were going into the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind will not let you down, because when you're in, like, if you got to be in a house, all right, make sure you don't see nothing, right? Because that's going to enhance it, because you're not distracted by anything. So all you got is you and you, which opens you up for deeper travel, because nothing's throwing you off. You're just in straight darkness by yourself in darkness. First, you got to surrender to the darkness, because many people are afraid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Surrender to it and watch the light that comes out of the darkness after that. So I feel like that's going to enhance it. Yeah. Stargazing.
Yeah.
Stargazing. See, we getting into it now. The stargazing is fire. Yes. 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 So let me see. Any other? So okay. So everybody, I want you to follow Light. You know what I mean? Follow him. Where can they find you, brother? Where can they find you?
Oh, y'all can find me right here on this Instagram, KingLight909. Working on a few other things, but as those come, I'll definitely let y'all know. But yeah, tap in with me, shoot me a message, DM, whatever. We could build, we could chat. But in the future, it sounds like since y'all really messing with me, you know what I'm saying? I'll be back on this live.
All right. All
Back
right.
on these lives.
Anything else you want to let people know before we go?
No, no, just look forward to the next
All
one.
right. Because we're going to get into some more stuff on the next one. We're going to get into other plant medicine, because I feel like we need to know about tapping into God's food, because this is the food of the gods. Um, I'm one that believes that everybody shouldn't be taking plant medicine, and I want to get into who should and who shouldn't take plant medicine, because certain people will go, their brains are not able to process what it is that food is. Okay. And I just want y'all to be cautious of that. Listen to what we said. I'm going to keep this live up. I'm not going to take this live down. This is going to be up on the channel so y'all can rewatch it and learn from what me and Light have to offer to y'all today. If anybody needs any products, any magical supplements that really help me out on my mission. Matter of fact, have you taken any of my supplements before from this company?
I got a shipment coming in tomorrow. They should be touching down.
Have
What
you ever
was it?
any of my supplements before?
Yeah, from the previous company. I like the Harataki. You definitely to this day got the best ashwagandha, the best Makuna, and the best maca. Like, and those are my three go-tos, especially when dealing with plant medicine and just meditating and doing my energy work in general. The
Mm.
ashwagandha, the mucuna, and the haritaki. Y'all
Mm.
ain't gonna. The maca is great too, and you guys ain't gonna be able to find no good maca unless he comes out with it again. Because I've tried them all on Amazon, the different supplement stores. They all cut it with something. They cutting the product. The
They are.
ashwagandhas are weak, and the mucunas, I ain't found nothing that's as potent, you know. So, and I stopped supplementing for about a year just because I be experimenting with myself, just see how everything goes. But I got this shipment in because supplements, everybody could use the boost, especially when you're trying to get to where you're going to in the most optimal manner. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you
And
got the purest.
we will be talking about that in the next live. We will be talking about that. And if y'all do want, he said ashwagandha, mucuna, haritaki, and maca. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Vitamin X has ashwagandha, mucuna, moringa, and bacopa in there. And as far as haritaki, that is this new one called Limitless with haritaki and banafsha, which work together like brother and brother or brother and sister or whatever. They family because they go in your body, open your neural pathways up, oxygenate your blood. Listen, you tapping in with this one. Magical supplements for magical people. You gotta take magic if you want to tap into your magic. Like we talked about these shrooms, magic, right? You have to get back into the things we did using sacred geometry, using sound healing. This is the magical things we used to do when we tapped in. And if y'all want any magic, go to earthlyelevation.com for some magic, and you'll see what happens. We're going to take Light's review next time we talk because he got some of my neurocognizance, so we're going to see how that worked with him.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, based upon how they see how you moving, I'm trying to move in the same with the same energy. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Just get up and at it.
that's right.
So shoot, that neurocognizant is where it's at. I'm about to find out.
Mm-hmm. Definitely about to find out. Definitely about to find out. Me and Light, I've known him since 2019, 2020?
Yep.
Like personal? Yeah, yeah. So we've been building and we're gonna continue to have these builds, and then anybody who matter of fact, anybody who would like to do plant medicine with myself, with Light, put a one below because I'm thinking about doing retreats again. I swore off of it years ago because the things that happened, I forgot. I didn't realize I exercised demons, so I got to chill my light language sometimes under plant medicine. But anybody who would like to do a retreat, now I'm getting an idea and I'm seeing visions of people actually coming out these retreats with powers. Many people, even myself, with more powers. So if anybody would be interested in coming to a retreat that I hold, put a one below. I'm just trying to gauge it. I want to see who will be interested in coming to wherever we go on the land and tap in some plant medicine. Okay, I see a lot of ones here. See a lot of ones. Yes, yes. So if anybody wants to tap, there you another one. So anybody want to tap in, we're gonna work on that. We're gonna work on that. Okay, okay. But listen, one thing I say before tapping in with me on plant medicine or anybody else is make sure you have your own experience before you have a retreat, before you come to a retreat, just so you can see or integrate with the medicine. Because if you're doing it for the first time, I've noticed those experiences normally are just a little different because you've never seen your reality break away. So you need to understand what could happen to you and not be shocked around a
Mm-hmm.
bunch. You know, I know some people want you'll do it for the first time there, but for psilocybin and when you're around people who have like powers, you want to be able to have the experience because my powers and your powers are going to be able to amplify each other. See, doing plant medicine when we didn't have powers is much different than doing plant medicine than when we do have powers. Just so y'all know, two different experiences. All right, and this plant medicine is going to unlock you. Taking herbs is going to unlock you. Eating weeds is going to unlock you. Doing your shadow work is going to unlock you. We're going to talk about all that stuff if you're trying to be unlocked. I know everybody's trying to be unlocked. You trying to be unlocked, like? All
Hell yeah.
right.
True. I'm unlocking
Right.
right now. Yep.
That's right. So listen, I appreciate everybody for coming through. I appreciate Light for sharing his light today. And we're going to get up out of here. We're going to talk to y'all soon, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.